Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So, The Intercept recently reported that the U.S. Department of Justice was considering seditious conspiracy charges for some of the terrorists involved in that attack on the Capitol. To that end, they had assembled a team of senior national security and public corruption prosecutors for the express purpose of building cases against some of these insurrectionists. Cases which would include sedition and conspiracy. These charges allow prosecutors to ask for a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. And they're even floating the idea that Donald Trump himself could very well be charged. Well, today, the first of these potential conspiracy charges has been levied against a U.S. Navy veteran named Thomas Edward Caldwell. Caldwell is a member of the alt-right militia group known as the Oath Keepers, and the government describes the Oath Keepers as a, quote, large but loosely organized collection of militia who believe the federal government has been corrupted by a shadowy conspiracy that is trying to strip American citizens of their rights. So Caldwell was taken into custody this morning on 4 federal counts, including conspiracy to commit an offense against the United States. The conspiracy charge relates to any interference or obstruction of the lawful operation of government. And his charging affidavit states that Caldwell helped to organize a group of 8 to 10 militia members who were all, by the way, arrested this past weekend. However, this group in which Caldwell was a part of ultimately grew to between 30 to 40 insurrectionists. And prior to entering the Capitol building, Caldwell can be seen and heard in a video that was posted on YouTube saying, quote, every single expletive, they don't say what it was, I'm going to assume fucker. I don't know. Every single fucker in there is a traitor, every single one. In the charging document against Caldwell, prosecutors cite a Facebook message that he sent on January 1st, so just 5 days before this attack, to a U.S. Army veteran named Jessica Watkins. In the message, Caldwell shared information about a hotel where they could all stay, and due to its proximity to the Capitol, Caldwell said that it, quote, would allow us to go hunting at night if we wanted to. Then during the Capitol attack, Watkins, this veteran, Army veteran that he was communicating with, sent a message out to other people saying, quote, we have about 30 to 40 of us. We are sticking together and sticking to the plan. So they had a plan. Another man then replied back to her saying, quote, you are executing citizens' arrest. Arrest this assembly. We have probable cause for acts of treason, election fraud. So remember, the punishment for treason is death. And these people were planning to execute a citizen's arrest and hold them accountable for treason. And remember, there were 2 nooses erected outside of the Capitol. Does anybody doubt that people were going to die that day if they had not been hidden? But here's the most terrifying part of the story. This is why it's pretty evident that these people had someone or multiple people on the inside helping them with this attempted coup. In the affidavit filed against Caldwell, the FBI noted that while the attack was taking place, Caldwell received Facebook messages from an unspecified sender who kept him up to speed, basically, on the whereabouts of the lawmakers that they were attempting to kidnap and potentially murder. So here's an example. Caldwell sent out a message saying just one word. He said, inside. He received back messages with directions and descriptions of various tunnels, doors, and hallways. And then in another message to Caldwell, it said, quote, all members are in the tunnels under the Capitol. Seal them in, turn on gas. So these people absolutely had some sort of help, either from current or former Capitol officials or possibly even lawmakers. I mean, we all know, I've reported on this about Lauren Boebert, who is another QAnon conspiracy theorist loon, and how she is now under suspicion for taking people through the Capitol the day before this insurrection or this attempted insurrection. So this is terrifying. This shows how close everyone came, how close this came to being a bloodbath. So Caldwell's fellow attacker and insurrectionist, Jessica Watkins, was arrested last weekend. She was charged for breaching the Capitol, but I would say it's a matter of minutes or days before she's also charged with conspiracy. And when authorities searched her home, they found numerous firearms, cell phones, pepper spray, a radio, a bag with a helmet and respirators, paintball guns, pool cues that were cut down to baton size, and zip/cable ties, as well as a camouflage hat and jackets. They also stated that they recovered a document titled Making Plastic Explosives from Bleach. Some light summer reading, I guess. And Watkins also runs a bar called the Jolly Roger, which happens to be the pseudonym used by the author of a book that's found online about how to make bombs. As for Caldwell, it just appears that he thought he could carry out these illegal and potentially seditious acts with complete impunity. I mean, he shared several videos from the Capitol while the riot was taking place, just posted them on Facebook. On one of the posts with a video, he wrote, quote, "Us storming the castle. Please share. Sharon was right with me. I am such an instigator. She was ready for it, man. Didn't even mind the tear gas." He also wrote, quote, "Proud Boys scuffled with cops and drove them inside to hide. Breached the doors. One guy made it all the way to the House floor, another to Pelosi's office. A good time. We need to do this at the local level. Let's storm the Capitol in Ohio. Tell me when." So, yeah. And the authorities are saying that these groups anticipated violence and then they continued to act as a unit, basically in concert with each other after breaching the building. And after they reviewed hours of videos that have been posted online and elsewhere, one senior official with the DC U.S. Attorney's Office said, quote, "This is the first step toward identifying and understanding that there was some type of concerted conspiracy here. Whether everyone else just happened to be there and got caught up in the moment, or if this is just the tip of the iceberg, how much this will grow at this point, I can't tell you, but we are continuing to investigate aggressively." So this Caldwell guy, may very well spend the rest of his life behind bars because he's 65. He could die in prison because of this. For what? For lies. For lies that Donald Trump perpetrated and then propagated, assisted by the way, Fox News, Newsmax, One America News Network, all of these outlets. If I were these people, if they ever come out of their cult mentality and realize that they've been duped, or if their families realize it, I would sue the hell out of everybody. They've ruined lives with their lies. So, some people on the left have been upset and they've asked and written about this, wondering why the FBI hasn't, up till now, used conspiracy charges against these terrorists. Because last summer and, throughout the last year, during the BLM protests, they were handing out conspiracy charges like they were candy. Even in 2017, with the protests against Trump's inauguration, they would round people up, arrest them on the spot, and charge them with conspiracy. They were following them on social media, and they would see that people were making arrangements to meet up, and they would just round people up. So if someone went and broke a window, for instance, anybody in the vicinity, whether they had anything to do with it or not, they were arrested. They just performed mass arrests. Yet these people, they just let waltz out of there. Literally, there's a video of them holding the door open and allowing these people who had just committed crimes to just walk right out. Not in cuffs, not under arrest, just, hey, have a great day. Thanks for visiting. So people have been rightfully pissed off. I've been pissed off about this. However, I was hoping that the reason that they hadn't done this is that they didn't want to issue any federal charges against any of these people until Trump was out of office. Because my concern is, and I'm sure their concern might have been, that Trump would issue pardons for these people. Now, he can't, of course, issue pardons for state crimes, but he can definitely issue pardons for these types of federal crimes. And some of his terrorists, some of these people who broke in, like the guy who had the horns on his head, and Jelly, I think is his last name, the guy who won't eat anything but organic food in prison, which is such a freaking joke. It's like they call us snowflakes, really? Anyway, he and there was another woman from Texas who flew there on a private jet. She's a real estate broker, I believe, Jenna something or the other. They've been asking for pardons. One of them said that it would only be right for Trump to issue pardons for them because he's the one who told them to march to the Capitol and to fight for him. So they still can't seem to understand. They still seem to be laboring under the false idea that Trump actually cares about them and their future. I mean, the only reason, the one and only reason that Trump might pardon them, and the reason I was concerned about it, is to potentially retain their support if he decided to run for office again, or if he tries to start Trump TV or some other type of media venture and charge a monthly subscription fee. And he doesn't want to piss people off if he's going to try to get money from them down the road. So that's the only reason. Otherwise, he doesn't give a damn about any of them. So we'll see. You know, he's expected to issue more than 100 pardons today. I'm sure he's not going to make that announcement until this evening or maybe even late tonight. You know, he doesn't want to be placed in cuffs. If he tries to pardon himself, he doesn't want to end up in cuffs before he has a chance to flee to Florida tomorrow morning. And with how cray-cray Florida is and all the right-wing government officials there, who knows if they'll lift a finger to help the feds. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.